Welcome. In front of me is a Samsung Galaxy A35, and today I'll show you a couple tweaks and tricks you can do on this phone. So let's get started by opening up our settings application, and in here we're going to begin by navigating into the sound and vibration, and you want to scroll down. You will find sound quality and effects option, and then adapt sound. Now, for some reason, this automatically chooses one of the options, so by default, I think it's going to select the under 30 years old. This is basically your age range, but you have a couple other options, though I don't recommend utilizing either one of those, as the option, or the purpose of this option where it shines the most is when you select Add Personalized Sound Profile. Now, I won't be able to do this because I will need to have headphones on, as you can see. So it only works with some kind of, for instance, earbuds or headphones that can be wired or wireless. It doesn't really matter, as long as you have something that gives you a bit wider sound stage. So once you have either one of those, you can then select Start, and it will start playing a series of different sounds, either from left or right ear. And all you need to do is select if you can hear it or not. And what this will do then is tailor a custom equalizer specifically to your hearing. Now, that being said, it caters towards hearing, but it's not necessarily true, as for instance, if you have some cheap earbuds as an example, those earbuds might not be very good at reproducing specific frequencies, at least at the volume that the phone will be playing it at. And obviously at that point you won't be able to hear it. Therefore, you're going to select that you can't hear that, and the phone will tailor that equalizer specifically to not your hearing, but more like towards the earbuds, and boost out the frequency that the earbud previously, for instance, might have had problems playing back because it was too quiet. With a little bit more power, it might actually start to play that sound, and therefore you might end up with having a bit of a more rich sounding earbuds, even though they might be cheap. Highly recommend checking that out. Now, going back to the main settings page, we can now navigate a little bit further down to the display section, and I'm going to start off with the light and dark mode. You have the two options. I don't remember if Samsung allows you to choose one of those throughout the setup process, but in any case, you can change it right here. And unlike throughout the setup process, if it's there, you never have the options for dark mode settings right here. This allows you to select it so it automatically swaps between these two modes, either from sunset to sunrise or on a custom schedule, which allows you to have both modes enabled and just utilize the one that is best for the time of day currently. Now, going back, we have things like motion smoothness, we have the adaptive and standard. This just defines how quick your display will refresh. The default one is 60. This is the kind of like the more choppy looking one nowadays. 120 is the go-to. Now, this is using, if I remember correctly, an LTPO display. Therefore, it will drop the refresh rate below 120 to preserve battery life. So adaptive is actually a pretty good option on here. But if you just want to straight up try to save as much power as you possibly can while using the device, then you might be interested in changing it to standard. Might not look as good, but might give you a better battery life. Then moving on, we have screen mode, and Samsung notoriously always sets it to vivid. This is natural, I would say, as in a store, if you're looking at all these devices side by side, vivid mode will look more eye-catchy, and you might be more interested in such a device. But for day-to-day usage, I find that the vivid mode specifically on Samsungs to be a little bit overdone, and I personally like the natural look more. So that's what I like to change it to. Now, moving further down, we have Edge panel, which is visible barely right here. It kind of blends with the tempered glass that I have on. You can just pull it out, and as you can see, it gives you some applications that are added by default, and also allows you to open up or see all the applications from here. You have also applications that you most frequently used or most recently visible at the top, and you can edit this, which we could have just, actually no, this editing allows you to add new applications to this. So we can add any kind of application in here, and this panel isn't limited. You can have stupid amount of applications, and it's just going to be scrolling down. Just to kind of showcase this, I'm going to add a bunch of them. Let's add all of the applications. Oh no, never mind. So it looks like I am limited to 22 apps, so never mind. But still, 22 apps is plenty enough for a quick access panel like this one. But where this is also going to shine is in the settings under Edge panel. If you tap on the text, you can select panels and you can add additional ones. By default, we have the apps panel, but you have a couple ones that you can add that are already pre-installed, and you can also navigate to Galaxy Store and download more from there. Do keep in mind, some of them will be paid, so the more like flashed out one, the ones that actually look good and work, will cost you something like 99 cents or $1.99. So they're not like egregiously expensive, but it still sucks that you need to pay for such a thing. Now I will point out one thing for people that might consider this to be an interesting thing. Weather, don't add it. It's absolute dog water. And the reason for that is it won't refresh automatically, so you need to do it yourself, and refreshing through the panel takes longer than it does for you to actually open up weather application and look it up yourself. So don't recommend that. In any case, another thing that you can do with the panel is add app combinations, like this one that is visible right here. All you would need to do to add one like that is, for instance, open up one application that you want to, for instance, split screen with. You can close this. Let's also add messages. So now I have messages. And what we're gonna do is, where's the option? Here, there we go. So I actually want to have my browser on top, so I'm gonna start off with the browser, as the first application that you split screen with goes to the top. So again, we're gonna go to recent while our browser is open. Then we're gonna click on the icon of the browser, and you want to select split screen view. And then you can find some kind of application from here that you want to split screen with. So I'm gonna select, I guess, gallery right here just because it's under my finger. And you can see we have two applications open right now at the single time. Now, if you pull the panel right now, it won't show anything, but if we close this, the two applications are right now in the background, and we pull out the panel, you can see them visible right here, as these are the two most recent applications that we have used, or the application considers as one. And what you can do now is grab it, hold it, and then drag it below. Oh, I am limited by applications, so let's see if I can get rid of one. Let me troubleshoot that. Edit. Let's get rid of a couple. There we go. So now we can grab it, drop it, and you can see it right here. And now when you tap on it, it will automatically open these two applications automatically. So you don't need to do any kind of like split screening and setting up. It just automatically pops them up the way you had it open, which is fantastic. And moving on to the two last options that I wanted to show. Let's go back to the settings. And I'm still under the display section. So below that we have navigation bar, which will actually go very well with the split screen applications, as it removes the button which do take quite a bit of space at the bottom of your screen. By selecting swipe gestures, it does shrink it a little bit further down, giving you more space for your applications. And we do have more options in here. Oh, never mind, they removed it. So before we had the option to actually hide this indicator right here, which would make it invisible, giving us even more space. But because it worked like dog water, speaking from experience, I guess Samsung just decided to remove the, feature of hiding it instead of fixing it like they should have. In any case, last thing that I'm going to showcase is the side button, which we have the redirect in the display section, as it is located somewhere else, I think in system. And here you can change the hold power button from the garbage Bixby to something like power off menu. Now, unfortunately, you don't have the option to select it to, for instance, open up your Google Assistant if that is something that you prefer. Instead, you either go Bixby or power off menu, and if you don't like either of those, tough crap. But that being said, you could technically set it up on a double press as an application launch, which could be Google Assistant application. Not as convenient, but still gives you a little bit of option. And if you don't want the double tap to activate auto, you can actually turn it off. So now, when I hold it, I get my power off menu. So there we go. With that being said, this concludes my tweaks and tricks that I wanted to share with you. And if you found this very helpful, don't forget to hit like, subscribe, and thanks for watching.